Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. What kind of lifestyle are you choosing to live? You know you're choosing to live it, right? But sometimes we become so habituated to what we're doing, we don't even realize that this was a choice that we made. Sometimes we're with partners that we outgrow, or they outgrow us, or it just isn't working. And so we change that up along the way. But our food sometimes stays as just as part of our lifestyle. And it might not be necessarily good for us or healthy for us or weight loss sustaining for us over the long haul. And what do I mean by the long haul? When you make a choice to do something with your life and you change it and your life improves, your lab work improves, the scale says I like, people notice, your clothes are fitting better, you're sleeping better, you're not constipated, you're not necessarily lethargic, that you have a wee bit more energy to stay active in whatever it is that you do. It's a lifestyle. And when I did my podcast a few days ago, Welcome the Disruption, it is a huge disruption to change up your life and welcome in healthy changes. And so when you do it, your lifestyle will alter a little bit. I am not one for drastic overnight things, except giving up grains and sugars cold turkey. I think that that would work best for most people. Maybe they'll still have the artificial sugars, and maybe they'll put maybe a 30-day deadline on giving those up as well. Today I was listening to a podcast by Dr. Westman, and if you are on the Keto Adaptation Facebook page, you will know that the first number of videos you're invited to watch are by him. And he has a boatload of books. He has a clinic that deals with morbidly obese people, and he talks about when people first come in and they are hurting pups. They might have diabetes, they might be pre-diabetic, they might be so over the charts with all of the diseases that they could have for the rest of their life if they keep doing what they're doing. That's what they possess. And so he was talking about ideally, optimally, people will be free of artificial sugars, artificial sweeteners, and will be having only grass-fed organic animal protein. He said, but that's not realistic. When I'm first changing up somebody, it's to get them from that serious diabetic state that they're in. And if they're having beef that's not grass-fed, that's not my biggest concern. If they're having sugar-free Jell-O just to get by with heavy whipping cream, just to get by, then that's not his concern. So, he's realistic, and I like that. And so that's where I'm at with that sort of thing. As you make the change from having artificial sugars, regular sugars, and grains in your food plan, and you want to make that adjustment to being fat adapted, it is rather drastic. So you might hold on to those artificial sugars for a little bit longer when you give up the sugars and the grains. I did the sugars and wheat in the month of August, so that was a 30-day transition. By September, I gave up all grains. So it was a 2-month process, and I wasn't into any artificial sweeteners at that point. I just never liked the taste of them. In fact, I would buy a yogurt, and it would say low in sugar, and I would say, well, that's good. That's what I want, a flavored one. And then I'd turn it over, and there'd be all those artificial sugars added to it. Well, I felt duped and dumb. So that's when I began to really understand that you don't read what's on the front of the label, you read what's on the back of the label with the ingredients that they, if it's a U.S. product, they have to disclose. Except for the natural flavors, I really don't like that. That is a dupe, and somehow they're still getting away with that. Natural flavors, what does that mean? That it's a chemical that tastes like a natural flavor? Don't get me started. Oi! So anyway, lifestyle. So if that means that you're making those small changes, when I talked about welcome the disruption, That's what I was really talking about, is a lifestyle change. Drinking water in the morning, warm lemon water with fresh lemon squeezed into it, isn't going to be a caloric change. It isn't going to be a way of eating change. It's a lifestyle change, and you're including it. And, one doctor at the Keto Summit was talking about how they talk about 21 days to develop a new habit, a healthy habit. It doesn't take that long to develop a naughty habit, does it? And we have talked about nighttime eating many, many, many times here. And I listen to some podcasts that have so much nighttime eating going on, I don't even think that they're aware that eventually they might have to give this up, that it's not necessarily a good thing to have this nighttime eating. And it's not necessary probably after, if you eat a healthy enough dinner. A lot of people save their carbs for the evening meal. They say it helps them sleep better. And I agree. I have that Fiesta pasta bowl of veggies most every night. I'll have a big salad a couple of other nights, but I'll have that great big bowl of veggies with all the organic, roasted, steamed veggies in it with coconut oil and Kerrygold butter. And then I'll have my 3 to 4 ounces of my animal protein, either whole on top of it or chopped up or to the side. And I prefer my carbs at night. It takes a while to eat them. I enjoy them, and I like a nice leisurely dinner. I like a nice leisurely first meal of the day too, but it's not going to be as long as the dinner one will be with all the veggies, especially when you include an artichoke. So, any changes in your lifestyle? Are you doing anything different? Maybe getting up a little bit early to stretch, or to have that water, or to maybe take that little walk around the block, doing a couple of healthy little things. Then when you get into the food part of the lifestyle changes, then you might be getting up early to make sure that your grab and goes are all prepared for your work week or your school week, or just if you're home with kids and everything else, and it's real easy to grab their chicken nugget or their French fry off their plate if you're still feeding them the standard American diet, and instead of having your own abstinent lunch that you've already tracked in your tracker. So it all kind of falls into place, and it's lovely, but there are little changes. Not the big drastic ones that you'll burn out on, like joining a gym and, devoting 3 hours a day to the gym for a week, and then you haven't lost the 10 pounds and so you give it up, but that membership keeps getting deducted every month from your checking account. Yeah, you don't want those sort of drastic dive-in things. The only 2 dive-ins that I did, as I said, where I already wasn't having artificial sweeteners, so that was okay. It was the real sugar and the wheat, and that took 1 month, and then I added the grains for the next month. And the triggers and cravings are gone. They're gone. I'll look at somebody. If I see a visual of something that used to be a binge food or a troubled food, something that I ate too much of, I know that I have to squint or get away from it, or definitely not go over and smell it and say, yeah, still smells the same. I can't do that. I still need to weigh and measure my low-carb, high-fat foods and enjoy them, and the cravings aren't there. I am not craving sugar. I am not craving pasta, potatoes, bread, cereals, things like that. I can get triggered if I see them. So I'm not looking for them, and if I have to be around them, I will squint. So that's my little tip for the day. So anyway, lifestyle changes. Are you doing any? Have you made any changes? Are you trying to make some changes? Are you really, really looking at your behaviors surrounding food and really beginning to address the emotional attachment to certain foods that you think are okay because they fit into your plan or your calorie quota for the day? Just because they can, are they necessarily good for you? Are you living in a state of fighting cravings and urges? That's not a fun way to be. You don't have to be that way. So, watch these sort of podcasts, mine and others. Track your food. Be willing to surrender or giving up something that may not be helping you. It may be aiding your addict in letting that person run the show, and you don't want to have that. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.